Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. Serbia is in turmoil for a 10th month. Protests have swept the country, sparked by the Novi Sad railway station disaster that killed 16 and now fueled by anger at corruption, authoritarianism and media repression. Clashes between police, ruling party supporters and demonstrators have left dozens injured, party offices vandalized and journalists under attack. President Vučić warns of, quote, consequences as international concern grows. Well, tonight we're joined by activist and educator Dejana Stošić from NADA agency to discuss what's at stake. Dejana, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to join us, and welcome. So,
thank you for calling me.
Pleasure. So, how would you describe the current state of affairs in terms of the protests on the streets, 10 months after they first started?
Well, now some people are calling it civil war in Serbia, because we have clashes with police being used as a private, let's say, security guards for the ruling party, the Serbian Progressive Party. And the Serbian Progressive Party is also taking over their people and making them go to streets to clash with protesters. I'd say it's the 10th month, and the protests have never been more violent. We have hundreds of people being thrown in jail. We have videos of police brutality. Like in one video, we can see that 24 police officers are kicking two men who are laying on the ground with their hands tied, and nothing has happened. We have seen a kidnapping, literal kidnapping by the police from civil vehicles to the people who are in, for example, bus or on their work. One kid was arrested, and when I said kid, I mean literally kids from 15, 16 years old are being arrested and are being tortured, I would say. One of them was arrested for having pasta and swimming goggles in his backpack. So I would say that the situation has never been worse. And as President Vučić said, he will not be surprised if somebody loses a life in these clashes.
Well, the way you describe them, Dejana, I don't think anybody would be surprised as they increase in the intensity of the violence. However, having said that, what has been responsible primarily for this uptick in violence over this period, over the 10 months?
Well, I would say, the only one who is the most responsible is the ruling party with President Aleksandar Vučić, as they're the ones who are igniting the violence over and over again. And it's been 4 months since the protesters are demanding early elections, and they're not giving them. So we have somebody who is fighting for democracy, against tyranny, against corruption, and the only thing that they want is early elections, and the ruling party doesn't give them. They also have the oil ministry. They're having statements that are beyond humane. I would say we have one video of actually people, the young men, students, being on their knees, facing their wall with their hands tied behind their backs. We have a video of that made from the police and being public by the police, shown of how they are doing. And I would say the one thing that actually now sparked everything is that one of the female students who was arrested, the chief officer there in front of the people, said that now I will strip you naked and I will rape you. And afterwards, The ministry said she's lying. She said, okay, please give me the camera footage, because we know that you take footage of everything, and they don't want to show the footage. So it's not just physical violence, it's also sexual violence now.
Understood. Now, President Vučić says that there will be consequences. He says, basically he's had enough. This has been going on for 10 months. Well, what more can he do in terms of consequences?
I don't know. I'm also really eager to see, I would say, but we see that his bodyguards actually started shooting at people. So we don't just have now fireworks and things like this or pepper spray. We have literal weapons pointing out at people and shooting at people. So I think that's his next step. We thought that he might be actually having what do we call the state that nobody could go on the streets and you don't have freedom of assembly. A curfew, yes, thank you. But because of the Expo 2027, that will be hard to do. And I think that now we will see the bigger repression than we ever saw, because this is war against mafia, I would say. Yesterday, he had an anti-blockade protest from people from his party in 39 cities all over Serbia. And Minister Dačić, Minister of Police, said that all combined there were 3,100 people. So us is more, I would say. I don't know what else he can do. He had a sound canopy. He had weapons pointed at protesters. He had us beating. One kid is in prison. They are not letting prisoners having their lawyers with them. They are not letting prisoners with open wounds being in medical facilities. So I think we are coming to an end.
Okay, so clearly a desperate position for the protesters in Serbia at the moment. Tell me, is there a role for European countries to play here and bring some influence to bear on President Vučić and his government?
Of course. I would say that one of the things that they should do ASAP is to actually give them some kind of to do something about them. Like they had the Dodik, he's been listed as somebody who is not welcome in the EU for some time. They can do that also. Cut the funds, cut the money. But we have, for example, Marta Kos, who is telling, Serbia is in a good way for joining the EU. This is opening of a new chapter. What kind of new chapter? We have police brutality. Is this how we are going to enter the EU? I don't think so. I think the EU, part of the EU officials are having his back. And that is something that should stop immediately, because this is not the EU we want. And I don't think the people of the EU don't want these kind of things happening in their own countries.
Well, I think we'll be, in fact, I'm sure that we will be keeping a close watch on what happens and what steps, if any, the European Union chooses to take. Dejana Stošić, thank you very much indeed for joining us and sharing what's going on in Serbia at the moment. Stay safe and have a good evening.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, though. Lots more coming up. Bye-bye.